Hello, hello, hello. This is Paulino Brenner with the Educational Performance Creators Show number 25. Today we have the co-founders of Extempore, the speaking practice app. We're going to start in just 1 minute. Please share this video with your friends. If you have any questions or comments, you can tweet with the hashtag EPC show or just leave a comment on this video. And if you are a language learner, if you're learning Spanish, or if you're a language teacher, any language, and you want to try this app using Paulino's Spanish Practice Free Class through July and August, go and sign up at bit.ly/free Spanish practice. Hello, hello, hello everyone. My name is Paulino Brenner and welcome to another edition of Educators, Performers, Creators, where I love to interview people who are educators, performers, creators like myself. And today I have the pleasure to introduce you to the creators of a new app called Extempore, the Speaking Practice app. I have the co-founders with you. Just for full disclosure, I am testing this app for my own practices. And of course, since I have lots of questions, why not ask them live so I can share my questions with you? And if you have questions, please type a comment on this video or tweet with the hashtag EPC show. Whether it's now live or if you're watching the recording, you can do that as well. I will make sure they get your question. And without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the co-founders of Extempore, Carlos and Susana. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. Hi.
So, hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. So Carlos and Susana, please tell me a little bit more about yourself individually and how this idea for this app came up.
Okay. So, well, hi everybody, and thanks for joining us today. As Paulino said, my name is Carlos. I'm one of the founders with Susana and a group of other people of Extempore. We are a group of teachers and technologists. Most of our co-founders are foreign language teachers or English or Spanish teachers, and the rest of us are mostly in the technology space. And we started Extempore about a year ago. We started working on Extempore about a year ago. We've only been commercially available for close to 2 to 3 months. So this is really the first full school year, starting in August, that will be fully commercially available. The app started with what we call this sort of syndrome we have today of the, there is an app for that. One of our co-founders came home a bit upset about all the workload he had to do. He teaches high school, has 25 students, and had to schedule one-on-one interviews with all 25. So he came home and was like, oh, now I have to, find something for the other 24 people to do, and it's a scheduling nightmare, and they're not going to show up, and I'm going to waste 3 days of class. And his wife said, well, there has to be an app for that. There's no way you have to do that manually. So they started looking for an app, and there was no app for that. So they called us, and then we started. One thing led to another. Before we knew it, we had Extempore up and running. So the idea from the beginning was to make the teachers' lives easier by allowing them to have one-on-one conversations, spontaneous conversations, not scripted conversations, without having to waste class time or schedule a very complicated, logistically complicated meeting with 25 or 30 or 100 students. Things have been evolving from there, and we've gotten a lot of traction with tutors, that teach over Skype, right? If you teach one-on-one over Skype, you want to use an app like ours to have oral homework. We've been talking to speech therapists that also have options for that, because they have one-on-one class in the clinic, but they want to assign the child or the adult that has a speech impediment homework to practice certain things offline as well. So there's a lot of sort of uses that have been spawning out of the core app, but our main market and our main users continue to be in higher education and K-12 teachers that use the app for oral homework and to dramatically increase the amount of hours that their students teach. So it's an exciting journey. We never know, you study these things, you never know where you're going to go. But so far, we've been very happy with the reception. We've had about 1,000 to 1,500 people that have piloted the app, like Paulina was saying. Schools all over the country, actually all over the world, that are using the app now with their students, and we are excited to start really commercially running this year. So thanks, Paulina, for the opportunity to be here and showcase the app, and hopefully we can do a good demo and show everybody how things are used. Paulina, we lost you, I think.
So
hear you.
Susanna, hello Susanna.
Hi.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and your background and your involvement in the app.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us. First of all, I teach Spanish as a foreign language here. I've been teaching Spanish in the U.S. since 2001. So that's, and I've taught elementary, middle school, high school, community college, and I'm now teaching at the university level. And I'm interested in instructional technology a lot, and so I'm using the app. Last semester I was using the app actually to do research with my students on speaking development, how they develop fluency and different things in their oral performance.
Great. So tell us a little more. So Carlos gave us an introduction to the app. Can you give us a little more of the concept behind this app and what type of assessments activities? Yes.
Actually, could I show my screen and just show you the app, how the instructor looks at the app?
That would be great. So this is hands-on, the best way to learn.
Okay, let's do that.
The only way to learn.
I'm sharing my screen. Let me minimize this. This is my phone. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm logged in as an instructor, and this is actually an instructor account that I use to show to people. I did a workshop with the Minnesota AATSP in February, so those are the two courses, and this is the one I'm showing you now. So these would be classes that the instructor sees, Spanish 1, Spanish 1 Section 2, or wherever. And within the class, you click on the class, and then you have your assignments. And the assignments are groups of questions, and you can have different types of assignments. Let me just show you this one. For example, vocabulary homework. In this one, the student, this is supposed to be for beginners. The student just looks at some images and describes what he or she sees. These are the rules. The question is not graded. I just want you to say the words. You have a limited time, review time, so think about what word you need. I just want you to pronounce the word, basically, in this question. The student would click, I'm ready, but my phone doesn't talk to Google Hangouts. So then Carlos will show how a student would do that. Because the instructor, at the same time, the instructor cannot do the assignments as an instructor. You could also have simulated conversations, and this is very useful. We've seen with AP Spanish teachers. We have a few using the app beginning in the fall. They're going to be using that, and in a simulated conversation, you have different recordings as prompts that you can record as a teacher and upload, and the student listens to that and answers in about 20 seconds, which is what the AP exam does. Then other types of activities include voicemails. I love to do that with my own students. They have to imagine at the beginning of the semester that they are partnered with another student in, say, let's say Colombia, Spain, any Spanish-speaking country. And then that student is going to leave a couple voicemails every week asking them a question. That is contextualized within the unit, whatever you're doing in your class. And then the student has to respond with a voicemail as well. So to make it a bit more communicative, there's a meaning to that. You're communicating with a real person. So you could upload an audio file with a message, recording yourself or recording someone you know. But you could also leave like a transcript of the message in writing. We also have video assignments where the student can record their own video. This is useful for those of you teaching online. For example, the first assignment can be have your students record a video introduction of themselves with whatever language they have. They can do it in English if it is the very beginners, and they can say a few words in Spanish, some greetings in Spanish. And if you're a tutor, this could be also a good way to see your student, and they record a video. And then we have the picture description type of activity where they look at a picture as they are recording themselves, and they have to say something about it. You prepare a task about it. And I think Carlos could do some of these activities as a student. So you see that. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Okay, perfect. So great. So that's the user interface all on mobile. And those are some examples of how the teacher looks at the activities. And you show that it could be audio, it could be, so the students can respond with an audio or a video response, correct?
That's correct.
Great. So let's have a look at what does the student do, Carlos?
Okay, let me share my screen for a second. Can you see it?
Yes.
Not yet. Oh, no.
Okay, so now imagine I'm a K-12 student, or I'm a higher education student that's taking an online class, or I just hired Paulino to teach me Spanish over Skype because I live in New Zealand, right? So we have all these one-on-one sessions over Skype, or I go to class. My teacher, my tutor, my instructor wants to assign oral homework, right? They want me to practice oral homework offline, not just when I'm in class. So I would get the app, I would sign up to whatever class I've been assigned to. In this case, Paulino, for example, would actually email me a link to his class. I would click on it, and it would be automatically signed up. And then I open up the app, and I would see whatever class. This could be a Spanish 101 or German 303. In this case, it's obviously the EPC show that class that Susana set up. Tap on the class, and then I have a list of assessments. Whatever assessments my instructor has created for me. This would be ordered. They would only show as they're due. So in this case, we have a lot of assessments, which is not realistic. But normally, I would see the ones that are due for this week. I would go and tap whatever I have to do. In this case, let me do a video introduction, and then review the instructions. Here's a video from the instruction. Watch the video and then record in your own self-introduction in about 1 minute. This is a little bit unrealistic in the sense that I happen to be the instructor and the student at the same time, but I think you'll get the point.
Talking to yourself.
Talking to myself, which is something I do increasingly often as I get older and older. So you have, I would tap on the question. Like Susanna said, there's a set of rules that the instructor can set when they create the assessment. We have a whole span of, let's say, rigidity that you can add. So if you just want your student to practice, all you do is assign an assessment, create an assignment that has, you can repeat as many times as you want, you can review as many times as you want, you can think as long as you want. If you want to do, for example, a final exam that you want to make sure is purely spontaneous natural speech, then you can limit all these things so the student has to answer right away. So these are the rules that you set up, and Susanna is going to show the back end later on. Once I review my questions, I click I'm ready, and then I would tap on the video and show the prompt. So this could be a video prompt like we're going to show here, or it could be a picture, or it could be text, or it could be a video of, I don't know, a snippet of news from the BBC or from, the Argentinian television that you want your student, whatever you want it to be, just put a video, image, or an audio. Tap on it. I don't think we're going to be able to listen through it to Google Hangouts.
Right, but here you are giving the student the prompt or explaining the activity, correct?
Right. That would be exactly. And then once I'm done, I would click on the camera icon and I would make an attempt. So in this case, I would go watch it. Once I'm ready, I click on record. And now as you can see from the counter on the bottom right, I'm already recording. When I'm ready, I click stop and then I submit to my instructor. The video gets uploaded. Okay, there's a bit of a lag, and I think my Wi-Fi is struggling, but you'll see it. Usually, in a few seconds it'll upload. Okay, now it's uploaded on my phone. It's still at 40% on the on Hangouts, but okay.
There we are.
So now, is it good? Okay. Boom. So now I have uploaded my video, my response to my instructor, and it's ready for to be graded. We could also have a response that's audio only. So for example, I could watch this one. This would be a picture description task, I believe. So I could tap on it. This one is much more strict. So I only have 60 seconds to review the question. The idea is we're not giving the student time to write down their answers. Right, so we want them. We don't want the student to be reading the answer back. We want them to have completely spontaneous responses. And then I click ready. This is an audio response, so I would tap on the microphone. As you can see the counter on the top. So 53, 52, 51. I have a limited number of seconds to think about my answer. Tap on it, and then I have my question that I can be describing as per the assessment. I tap on the microphone, start recording, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, stop, and now I click submit. And this is where we hit the limits of Google Hangouts, because for some reason you cannot watch me submit, but now I've just submitted the attempt like I did before with the video, and now it's available to the instructor again.
Okay, well, that's great.
Right,
yeah, so if I could, should I show now how the instructor sees what he just did?
That would be great. So yeah, so we just saw Susana showing the teacher interface and Carlos the student version doing the exercises. What happens after that? So the teacher gets it back, and what do we do with it?
Let's share my screen again. Okay, so I go back to my course here. This is home. This is what shows the list of your courses, and this little icon is grading. So I see different assignments that have been done. A video introduction that Carlos did before, La pirámide nutricional that he just did, and the video introduction. Let's look, for example, at this video introduction, and I see this is the name of the student. This is a demo, and this is the grading interface. The teacher has a little icon here with a video. It's slow, but it's the Wi-Fi and the Google Hangouts interface.
Right. Yes.
You just play it. We're not going to be able to hear it here, otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear me. But let's stop it. And you could have here a rubric. I'm going to show in a second another one that has a rubric. This one doesn't, because this is a video introduction assignment. All you want to do is say, nice to meet you, or bienvenido a la clase, or something like that you want to say. You could also submit an audio comment. And let me see if I can do it. I think I was able to do it last time. I'm recording right now. Let's click and play it back.
Okay. Yeah, we won't be able to hear, but so we can give a feedback. We can give a feedback in text or in audio to the student as a response.
Then you send me the audio, and if the student for some reason tells you, oh, I did it wrong, I was nervous, I can't, and you decided not to allow retries, you could always go here and delete it and let the student try again.
Okay.
That's your call. There's flexibility with that. We all have that type of student that just gets nervous with technology.
And in this case, it was not. It was a non-graded activity. We're just giving feedback.
Non-graded for us in extempore language just means that it doesn't have a score, a numeric score. You could consider it graded if you wanted, and just do just credit, just for credit. They did it or they didn't do it. And notice that I have 3 dots here. That just means that the score is not, the feedback is not published. My student cannot see that yet. I can choose when he sees that. And usually that's helpful for me because I have about 57 students and I want to be done. I'm not done in one sitting, grading and commenting on all of them, but I want to publish them all at the same time so I don't get emails saying, oh, my friend just got comments and I didn't. Why? So that's helpful with that. And then we have the pyramid activity that he did. This one has a rubric. This one has a rubric, meaning that we can give a numeric score. I check again what rubric I created, and I said I was going to grade on vocabulary, pronunciation, and content. Then I look at the question that he did. This would be his recording. We're not going to be able to hear it, so I won't click on it. But then I have, as I'm hearing it, I can assign a grade. Let's say that he did awesome, and
Carlos, you did very well today.
My Spanish is excellent.
I'm going to say that. I'm not going to do any audio feedback here. I'm just going to say submit feedback, move on, and look at the next one. Watch the video introduction. It was the same student doing it. And then I'm going to say this wasn't graded, but let me pretend I listened to it. It was an introduction, and I say, again, bienvenido a la clase, and then submit feedback. And I'm going to publish now the grades so he can see my comments. And we do that by, in Android, this is an Android phone, we do that by long pressing on the assignment, on the question, and then make like, we have that. And notice how we have this check there. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if Carlos can show you what my feedback looks like from his end.
Great.
Sure. Let me share my screen again. All right. Can you see? All right. Can you see my screen, my phone?
Yeah.
There we are.
So I'm gonna go back in and go to my grades, and I can see the videos that I've done. Say video introduction. A tick box means that I have a green tick box means that I have received my my grade, and it would just say the feedback if it's ungraded, and if it is graded, I would see if my whole score, a numeric score, whatever feedback Susanna gave me, and if there was any audio, I would watch the audio as well. So I have, as a student, I have all the apps and all my grades in my fingertips, on my phone.
Great. So you would check, tap on that grade mark?
Grades.
Okay,
Yep.
and grades? Okay. On grades. Okay, good.
And go from there.
Perfect. So now we saw the full cycle, the teacher reviewing or creating the activities, and I have a few questions about that, about the creation process.
Mm-hmm.
The students doing the assessments and different kind of responses. Some are graded, some are just graded, meaning we have in a rubric with numbers, and the other just some feedback, and then the teacher grading and the students getting all that. So we have the full cycle there. Susanna, can you talk a little more about the creation of the activities?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it on the phone itself, or you have a dashboard on your computer?
Yeah. We do it online through our website with the computer. Should I share again my screen? Let me just do that. Okay. And so if you go to our website, am I sharing right now with you?
Yes, you are. Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you go to our website, it says here login. So once you have created an account, an instructor account, you go here, login, and you get to your classes. So there's a login site. I'm already logged in as you know, what I'm using as an example for the AATSP. And this is a course you just saw, the demo EPC show. You would create different courses here, and let me show you what the assessments look like. These are the assessments that you saw Carlos doing. For example, this video introduction. Okay, there's the question. It's a video response, and I did not check I will supply a numeric score because I was interested in doing only a comment. The one that he did with a numeric score is this one. It's an audio response, and these are the things that I selected. I said I could have up to 5 criteria. for grading in my rubric, and I said I would do vocabulary, pronunciation, and content, but it can be whatever you want. These are not set categories, and you could write it in the target language that you are teaching. For example, this semester I was not grading on grammar because I was exploring the effect of not grading on grammar on their speaking for my students, and what I graded on was detail, how much, how many different things they talked about, and length, how long they talked without the pauses. That was my rubric. So it doesn't have to be the traditional grammar, vocab, and things like that. And then time to review means how long the student has to see the prompt, whatever prompt you want, like an image or an audio or a text prompt, whatever they have. If you want to limit a lot, if you don't want them to actually write out the question and read it back to you, you just give a few seconds, okay, as long as you think it takes them to read. If you're going to write the prompt in the target language, maybe give them a little longer because they have to interpret what it says, but it depends on the level of your students. And time to respond means how long their actual recording, their video or audio recording is going to be. And then you add your questions.
Right.
When you select re-record, that's when you let students play it back. I don't like it, let me try it again. And it depends on your goals. If your goal is for them to practice, please do the re-record. They hate their voice. They don't like their voice. So they're going to do it many, many times, and that's the practice. That's what you want. If you're doing something like an assessment and you really want more natural speech, don't allow them to re-record because then you get something very practiced and rehearsed.
Right, and if you want unlimited time, then you just don't check those time.
Yeah, you don't. When you go to, let me show another one. You just don't click I will supply a numeric score, and you don't get all those options.
Okay.
So let me stop sharing now.
Perfect. So that's the platform that the dashboard that you use to create all those activities from your computer. Okay, great. But the grading and the feedback, you do it all from your mobile device, correct?
Yes. That's correct.
Excellent.
iPad, iPhone, Android, or any tablet. So.
Perfect. Awesome. Great. So before we get into some questions, I would like if you could, for those watching live of the recording who are Spanish speakers and want to hear a little bit of Spanish, let's do a brief summary of what this app is about in Español. And for those who don't understand Spanish, we'll go back to English in a moment now. But Carlos, cuéntame resumidamente cómo surgió la idea de esta aplicación y resumidamente qué es lo que hace.
La aplicación la empezamos a desarrollar aproximadamente hace un año y la idea vino por uno de estos fundadores que es profesor en high school en Ohio. Tenía que hacer entrevistas con 25 estudiantes y era muy complicado. Entonces decidió buscar una aplicación, a ver si había una aplicación que le permitiera hacer las entrevistas sin tener que perder una semana de clase. Y como no la había, pues acabamos desarrollándolo entre nosotros, ¿no? Como somos la mayoría de nuestro grupo, somos fundadores, en cuanto surgió la idea, resonó automáticamente porque es un problema que todos los profesores han tenido, ¿no?
Y Susana, ¿puedes contarme brevemente tu experiencia con esta aplicación?
Sí, la usé un poquito al final del semestre. Como enseño en la universidad, voy por semestres, la usé un poquito al final del semestre de invierno, en diciembre, cuando estaba ya lista. Pero me gustó mucho sobre todo porque los estudiantes traen su móvil a la clase. Lo tienen con ellos, les encanta. Tienen un attachment que no pueden separarse, entonces yo siempre estoy buscando ideas para integrarlo en la clase. Y este semestre, empezando en enero, lo usé todas las semanas, lo usé dentro de clase y fuera de la clase, y fui pasando encuestas a los estudiantes y muchos de ellos les encantó, les pareció que realmente les hacía hablar, y el hecho de poder escucharse a ellos mismos, porque otra actividad que hago también es escúchate y o transcribe lo que has dicho o fíjate en cómo está tu gramática, si estás usando tal estructura que yo te he dicho que tienes que usar, si la usas o no la usas, y eso es algo que es muy revelador para ellos.
Excelente. So for those of you who are watching and said, but they're Spanish speakers, we want Spanish. There you are. But now we're back to English so that we can answer some questions that I received. And before we get into that, I would like to remind you that I'm also testing this app. And with the help of this cute baby that we see here, who is this beautiful baby, by the way?
She's Alicia. She's our daughter.
Yes, let's include the whole family in this.
Yeah, it all stays in the family here.
It all stays in the family. So I am testing this app for those who would like to experience what you just saw as a demonstration today in real time. I'm going to be doing a Spanish practice free class through July and August. So sign up. If you are a language teacher of any other language, just sign up just to see how it is. If you're a language learner learning Spanish, sign up to test it out. And let's get into some details regarding if we want to use this app, what are some options, what are some of the prices? Here we have a comparison. Carlos?
Yeah, so we have two models on how the app can be purchased. The initial idea that we had was that higher education teachers would use the app like a textbook. So essentially, order the textbook and have the students pay for it. So we created what we call the learner paid option, right? So it's free for the school, it's free for the instructor. There's no budgeting required. All you do is just send the link to your students, and your students click on it, pay with a credit card, $4.99 for the class, and then they automatically see it on their phone, like you saw on the demo. The other option, which is meant more for K-12 institutions, is a normal institution license. So you have 100 students, you buy a license for 100 students, and then that is paid for by the school, and it's free for your students. When the instructor sends them the link signs. The link knows that the student is paid for, so they get automatically signed up. What we are seeing, though, that actually is kind of surprising, is we're seeing a lot of K-12 schools very interested in the learner paid model. So we are having a lot of middle and high schools going for the learner paid, where it's again free for the school. They just send the link, and the student or the student's parent, as it may be, is the one that actually pays for the class. So they're both the same product. They're both the same options. Everything is, the unlimited number of classes, unlimited number of students, unlimited number of assignments, and the features are the same. It's just how or who pays for it, depending on what your desire is. We're seeing a fair amount of tutors as well that use this as a way to sort of increase the monetization of their practice, because they can create a class that's free for them, and then send it to all their students, and make that a part of a premium model, a gold model, where they charge for the class and they charge an extra for homework correction. So those are the two models we have that are working fairly well in the market right now.
That's great. So I am getting some questions that I'm going to ask you in a minute, but I'm sure that some people, after watching you here online, would like to meet you and ask you more questions. So I see that there is an opportunity for some people to come and meet you in person. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah, I'm going to be there with another co-founder, Chantal Thornberry. She's an English teacher. We're going to be there in Miami next week, and we're going to be in booth 29 in the exhibit hall. And we also have a presentation on Friday at 8:30, very early. But, okay, it's Miami, so you come to our presentation early, and then after that, you just enjoy the pool, okay? Don't go to any other presentation. You don't need it. And we'll be talking more about the study that I did this spring. I'll be presenting a little bit, the data, the preliminary results on that study, and also demoing the app and helping students teachers with hands-on practice right there.
Right. And you mentioned we're going to be there. And just to clarify, it is the AITSP conference in Miami, July 8 to 11.
Yes, that's correct.
Great, great. And for those who've for those who want to check out the application, we have here a username and password for a demo. Carlos, would you like to tell us a little more about that? How
Yeah,
can we
that's
use
just
that?
it's a demo. It's a demo class that we've created. So just use those credentials: demo instructor and demo 1, 2, 3, 4. The downloading the app itself is of course free, so people can just download the app and enter those credentials and play a little bit with the app. There's some assignments that they can grade or review. There's fake students, so you can't break anything. So download the app, enter those, and play with it to your heart's content. But it usually gives people a good idea of what the app is without having to create a new class.
Great, awesome. And I see that you're being very generous today. And for anyone watching, you have a discount, the EPC discount coupon. That's great.
10% with, regardless of whether it's the institution or the student paid option, you'll get 10%.
So anyone, either teachers or students, can use that coupon?
Correct.
Excellent. Well, let me get into some of the questions I've been getting, and some teachers are asking about where do you, or what some of the best practices? Do you use this more at home for extra activities, or in class, so that everyone can do it at the same time? What are some of the practices of using this app?
Let me answer that. Of course, we're starting, so the best practices are what people have been sharing with us. This is an app we started thinking about. It's designed to be used to assign homework or assess speech in the classroom, but you could also use it to record different interactions between students and have that to be able to listen to later. In my experience, I've been using it to assign homework, and it's oral homework, which is a new concept for most students, but they enjoy it actually, and they think it's helpful. And then in the classroom, I've been using it to assess speaking skills more frequently. I don't think it's fair to our students or to ourselves to just evaluate at the very end. We tend to listen to our students and have an idea by the end of the semester of how they're going to do at the end, but do we ever give that feedback to our students directly, and do they hear that feedback? So by using this to assess students more regularly and provide feedback more regularly on their speaking, I have been able to reduce the anxiety about the oral exam at the end of the semester, and actually make them work on some of the aspects of their grammar, or the vocabulary use, or their pauses, or something that really is a problem for their speaking.
Perfect. And Carlos, a question for you. I just see someone who has been trying the application, and they have some suggestions for you. I'm sure this is a new app, and I'm sure you're welcome to new ideas. So what's the best way to for someone who's been playing with the app to give you some feedback or ideas?
So we have we hunger for feedback. And obviously we're not Pearson, right? We're a small company, so we can react very, very quickly to feedback and change things very quickly. So we do want to hear from people who are using it. Best way is to contact us directly. There's a info@extemporeapp.com email address. You can find it at the bottom of our website. That would be the best way. You can also email support from the app itself under the profile. But yeah, do send us an email, and we would love to hear what you have to say.
Excellent, perfect. And Susana, I have a question for you. Some people are asking if you can, we saw some examples of activities that you showed in the demo. What's some other kind of activities that other teachers are doing, or in your experience, people like the most?
Thank you for the question. If you let me, can I show again my screen?
Of course.
Because I have, let me just get back to that before I share it. In our website, on our website, let me share. Okay. On our website, we are starting to list some activities that people tell us or that we use in our classes that work well with Extempore. And the ones you saw are mostly this type, responses to written, audio, visual prompts. And you can read more and see more examples of how to do these. And you have listening comprehension. I think I went too far. Listening comprehension is another type of activity. You could show maybe a picture and then start describing something that is related to the picture, but you're making it differently. So you are asking students to notice what is not on the picture, or what is the extra information you're giving, or what is wrong with what you're describing or doesn't match the picture. So that would be listening comprehension. You could also do error correction and self-reflection activity. That's something that I mentioned before. Have students listen to themselves, write down what they say if they can understand, so they become aware of their pronunciation, and they become aware of how much English they say when they're trying to do one of these assessments, and how much they pause. And then maybe do a self-reflection if you're doing this, like using it as a portfolio, or re-record. Just do the activity again, and that's an idea. Flipping the classroom, this is very handy when you're trying to do that and incorporate more speaking outside of the classroom. The map task, map task is kind of the picture describing. And as I said before, here you have a lot of ideas, and
Wow.
this seems like very for monologic tasks, like for one person speaking to the phone. You could also use it. I've used it, and it's awesome to record students talking. When they have a dialogue in the classroom, we've been working on a particular topic the whole 50 minutes, and at the end of the class, I tell them, okay, now record the dialogue you're having with your partner. I wanna listen to that one by one, and they record. They say their name because they're recording with one account only, but they say who was the person talking to the student, and you can get that to provide feedback, or just to listen and see how well they got the content of the lesson. And we have many activities, and we're always thinking about more activities and looking for more. So if you have, you've been using this and you have ideas, please email and let us know.
That's perfect. That's a lot of suggestions that I'm sure many teachers are really happy to see that list.
Mm-hmm.
It really helps them. Great. And I have one last question for you, Susana, again, because you mentioned about you doing research with this app, and I think you also encourage other teachers to do research with this app. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience of using this app for your research in the classroom?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at speaker. There's something called foreign language classroom anxiety, and there is a survey. There's a questionnaire to measure that, and that's been going on since the 80s. And this is a research interest of mine, how technology can affect, for the good or for the bad, student anxiety. And I've been trying to do a pre-test and post-test where I measure student anxiety at the beginning of the semester and at the end. And after using Extempore for a semester, how that affects their anxiety overall in class, and in particular their speaking anxiety, being nervous about speaking in front of others, which is very common in the foreign language class. And what I'm seeing right now is that they not only become less anxious. It doesn't eliminate anxiety. They're still anxious, but they're less anxious because they have regular practice, they have regular feedback, they feel more in control of that, and they also feel like no one is judging them, even though I'm going to be listening to that. They feel that they can talk for about 2 minutes uninterrupted by another student, and they don't feel that other students are going to be judging them. So when I did I also collected qualitative data where students were writing down their comments and their perceptions, and the low anxiety students, there wasn't much change for them. They were, to begin with, they were low anxiety students. They were ready to talk. But the high anxiety students, they were like in love with this app. They were like, keep using it. I wish my teacher next year is going to use that again, because they perceive it's not only lowering their anxiety, they perceive that they increased their ability to speak in the language. So I thought that was very revealing.
I mean, to me, the most revealing piece of feedback we've received so far, and we've done a lot, and we've done a lot of interviews and surveys with pilot participants, was one of Susana's students that says, until now, I could get by in a foreign language class without actually speaking, right? And if you think about it, it's fairly easy. You can take 10 years of Spanish, sit in the back of the class, ace every single test, and if you don't want to speak, you don't really have to speak, right? So we saw that feedback and like, oh, this is actually the only tool that we know of that can get everybody to speak in a foreign language class, and that's really important, right? So we have received very, very good feedback from students across the board.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to test this app more for my practices teaching online and having a different type of interaction. So for everyone who wants to try it, if you are a Spanish learner, or if you are a teacher of any language and you just want to see how it works from the student point of view, you can use the demo instructor account to try it as a teacher. But if you want to try from the student point of view, sign up for this free Spanish class at bit.ly/free Spanish practice, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm very used to one-on-one interaction, and I'm looking forward to experiment with asynchronous interaction with my students. Great. Well, this has been great. We got lots of questions. You answer all my questions, so I'm very excited to go and play with it. Anything else you want to add from today?
Nope. Again, thank you so much for offering us the opportunity, and our offer stands. Whoever wants to try the app or give us feedback, just let us know. We'd love to talk to people, and again, we're excited by this, and the more we hear, the better.
Okay. Yeah, and thank you. And just a reminder that if you're a Spanish teacher or Portuguese teacher who's going to be at the conference next weekend, I'll be there, so stop by and say hi.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time, Carlos and Susana. I hope to see you around. We are here all online, but we do live just 7 miles apart, so so let's have some coffee. Muy bien. Muchas gracias. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Adiós.
Gracias. Chao, chao.